Are you willing to compromise and put the needs of someone else before yours at times? That sounds like a lot of work, no? Depends what needs they are. I'm not doing their fucking laundry.
What up, you little fuck?
Okay, guys, I'm doing something really fucking stupid right now. We have an emergency debrief situation. Hi, this is Hallie from the streets of New York. Guys, I had every intention of staying in last night. Okay, guys, welcome back to Extra Dirty. We're doing another solo episode. Hopefully you're not sick of me yet in these solos, but I think honestly they're really therapeutic for me to just like talk through stories and like it's healing in a way. I thought we'd kick off this episode and just like kind of rip a story. Like it's getting warmer out. Summer is approaching. It makes me reflect on my college days and the summers in between where I would run around the beaches in the streets of Nantucket finding, men. Well, at the time they were younger, but like kind of men. There's this one story that I had in mind. It was probably our first experience or my first experience with like an older gentleman. And also my first experience with like a celebrity kind of too. And it wasn't me. It was actually someone that was one of my roommates in college. One of my best friends. She gave me permission to talk about this story, and honestly it's just like too good not to get into. I'm not gonna say his name because he's the type of man that would probably send a cease and desist, but if you look up Only in America by Riff Raff, the ones that know it, you will know who I'm talking about pretty quickly. But let's begin. So it all started July 2nd, 2016. It was the summer between, I believe it was between my freshman and my sophomore year. And I had my roommate living with me. We were just hostessing on Nantucket, which is what we would do all summer. We would basically hostess for like 2 hours a day and then go out and rip it at night and then go to the beach during the day and then like hostess for like 2 hours. And then like it would continue. It was like a summer that was like a full fucking bender. I remember I was literally like, by the end of it, I had sleep paralysis demons because I was drinking way too much. But anyways, this man with a mustache, we'll call him Mr. Mustache Man. He's an actor. I don't know. I would say he was probably like an A- list actor at some point in his career. At the time, he was 38 years old. We were 19. It was around the 4th of July, and the 4th of July in Nantucket, for people who don't know, it's like one of the biggest weekends on Nantucket. Everyone's fucking ripping it. The beaches are packed. There's cops everywhere. Like it's one of the biggest weekends the island sees. So anyways, there's parties leading up to 4th of July. So it was July 2nd. There's parties on the beach. The beaches are packed with a bunch of college students. And Mr. Mustache Man, he and his manager were roaming the beaches. And I don't know if they were roaming for some college girls or what, but they found him. So they ended up finding my roommate on the beach. And he sends his manager over and he goes, I want that one. So the manager comes up to my roommate and was like, hi, I'm with Mr. Mustache Man. He was wondering if he could take your number. Like he's interested and would like to see you later. And my roommate was like, wait, that Mr. Mustache Man? And like, he's like in the back, like 100 feet behind him. And he's like waving kind of. And he's like, yeah, that Mr. Mustache Man. And she's like, fuck yeah. Like she knew exactly who he was and was like, this is so cool. This is so exciting. And like, we're all around her being like, oh my God, you have to do it. Like this would be a fucking sick story. So we gave him, I'm saying we as if like it was like a dual quest, but no, she gave him her number and he ends up hitting her up being like, hi, like I want to see you. Please don't tell anyone. Like I'm texting you, like change my contact name to something else. Like off the bat, he was being really sus and really sketchy, but like for the plot, do it for the plot. Like at the end of the day, especially when you're in college, even if you know like you're in a alarming situation, maybe you're a little bit naive, I mean, as most college girls are, do it for the fucking plot. And it honestly makes for a fucking great story because this is just the beginning of the chaos that entailed. So anyways, my roommate's staying with me and she stayed with me all summer and she was like, okay, can I bring Mr. Mustache Man back to your house? My parents are at the beach and they're like, you can't have a party, you can't have a pregame, you can't have nothing. But I was like, but mom, like Mr. Mustache Man is here and like he's with his manager and we were just like playing beer pong in the back. And she's like, what the fuck? She thought I was fucking with her because she knows exactly who this actor is too. Like he's a pretty famous actor. Yeah. Production agrees. Yeah, very famous actor. So anyways, they hook up. They're hooking up in my outdoor shower. They're hooking up on like the love sack in my basement. Like they're right off the bat. He like takes her into my outdoor shower because we're all playing beer pong in the back. And he goes down on her standing up in the fucking outdoor shower. And I was like, honestly, this man's fucking bold, but like this is hilarious. We're like sneaking pictures of him and like sending it around. Whatever. We thought it would just end there. This like little rendezvous with this little famous actor who is like a little bit older than us, but like not. I mean, the age gap was a little alarming, but it was legal, so it was fine. Anyways, they keep in contact. Like, he is FaceTiming her. He is texting her. He added her on Snapchat, which I'm shocked he even knew what the fuck that was. Anyways, he was filming a movie in New York City. So he had a Soho loft rented out and everything. So he texted her or called her up one day and was like, listen, I want to fly you and your friends out to New York and I want you to stay at my loft and I want to have like a fun New York weekend with you and your friends. It'll be really cool and fun. And she was like, fuck yeah, I feel like we have to go. And I was like, I'm not a naive person. I'm pretty street smart and can read people pretty well. And I've been able to do that from a pretty young age. And I was like, I don't know. I was also still talking to my ex-boyfriend from high school at the time, and he was hating this. He was like hating the idea of me going to New York with some random man that like kind of, you don't know, like actors are sketchy. Like I've been over this with actors. Like they're kind of suspect. But I was like, you know what? Fuck it. Like this is a once in a lifetime thing. Like he's famous. This is so cool. Oh my God, let's go to New York City. Let's go in the loft. Like we can go to LF and take pictures in Soho. Like I thought it was so sick. I told my parents, my dad's like, fuck yeah, do it. Which by the way is fucking insane. But like all my friends who went with us didn't tell any of their parents. So we went, okay? So we get to the loft. He's filming. So his manager lets us up into the loft. The loft is stocked with like pounds of weed everywhere and alcohol. And may I just like remind you, this man, he's fully sober, which you wouldn't think based off of some of his roles in movies, but he's a completely sober man. Also the type of man that will take a tomato and eat it like an apple. Like I literally watched him do it. He's that kind of like very mysterious, doesn't talk much, has a hat on with his fucking mustache, and he doesn't say much, but he contributes in a way that's like very like, he has an interesting demeanor. So anyways, we were like, this is fucking sick. This Soho loft is like packed with alcohol and weed. And we were like, this is so fucking cool. We're so cool. This is sick. So anyways, he's filming and it was time for dinner. So we go out to dinner with his manager. He's an older bald man. So it's like, picture this. We're at this very fancy Italian restaurant with some old bald man and it's like 5 19-year-old girls. Like it just like looked like a very suspect image from like a third person perspective, but like really like this is so cool. We're like hanging out with the manager, we're like getting in the scene. And then we linked up with him later. So he had a whole itinerary packed for us. Like he had things planned. One of them being a Guns N' Roses concert because he was going to play like, who's the leader of Guns N' Roses? Kiss? Like the guy that's like, yeah. Yeah, Axl Rose. He was like going to play Axl Rose in some fucking movie. So he was going to meet Axl Rose. So he brought us to Guns N' Roses. We're VIP. He's like finger blasting my fucking roommate the whole concert. And me and like my other girlfriends are just kind of like standing there. Like we're in like GA, but like we're in seats, but like we're like people are behind us, next to us. Like I'm pretty sure I have a picture like my Snapchat memories of this whole moment because we were like, oh my God, he's literally fingering my friend underneath her skirt at this concert. And then we're supposed to meet Axl Rose after, but then Axl Rose was taking like too long or something. And he's like a very impatient person, Mr. Mustache Man. So he's like, fuck this, we're leaving. So we go back to New York and we ended up going to this interactive play in Brooklyn. And when I say this was the weirdest fucking experience of my whole life, it was like a play that like you would walk through the space and also interact with elements of the play. So you'd walk in, it kind of like seemed like a White Lotus thing. I remember there being like like sand everywhere. And they would greet with tropical cocktails, and then you'd walk through the space and there would be like a section where like someone would be talking to you about something random, and then you'd go to another section and there would be like an open casket, and you would have to like lie in the open casket and pretend like you're in a burial, and like someone would give like a ceremony for you, and then you like move into the next room that was like heaven. And like while you're walking through all these rooms and spaces, they're like handing you more drinks and more alcohol. But I just remember that being really fucking weird because it was in this random like garage in Brooklyn. And I was like, how did you even find this? Like, are we getting kidnapped and are we getting murdered? Like, I was freaking out, like scared. But the alcohol was helping. After that, we went to the Box, which is a live, basically like, it's not like a live sex show, but it's like I would say it's more than a burlesque show. Like their dicks hanging out and they're whipping the dicks and the drinks and like they're taking shits on stage. Like they have a bunch of different crazy live acts on stage and you're just like mind blown and it feels like you're in a fucking fever dream. But it's also like super entertaining and like a fucking vibe. And I would highly recommend going at least once in your lifetime if you either live in London or New York, because it is fun, but it's a lot and it's not for everyone. So they were hooking up all weekend and we were just kind of like I was just kind of riding the coattails of the experience. So after the New York trip, okay, like they're still vibing, they're still talking. It's all fun. He comes back to Nantucket because, mind you, we're still spending our whole summer out there. We're working, we're being a hostess and girl bossing, etc., etc. He comes back to New York and goes, listen, girls, I have a proposal for you. And we were like, okay, what, Mr. Mustache Man? Like, what do you have for us? He goes, would you like to be in this music video for Riff Raff? For fucking Riff Raff, guys. Out of all fucking people, he was like, would you like to be in Riff Raff's music video? The idea of it's going to be like kind of resembling Spring Breakers. And the song is called Only in America. I want you guys to like Google search Only in America by Riff Raff, and you're going to see this whole thing take like we were in a full fucking production. We had wigs on that were the color of the American flag. He rented a Jeep. We had hair and makeup. He got a boat with a tube. He rented out the Chicken Box on Nantucket, which is a very popular bar. And like we were basically his background dancers. There was one scene which I opted out of being in because my ex-boyfriend, which I mentioned I was still talking to at the time, I just didn't feel comfortable with like this one scene. And I also think I got pink eye or something, like a piece of sand got my eye or something. Like I couldn't continue the filming. It was a 3-day filming thing for this fucking music video. He was like lying on the pool table of the Chicken Box and had all the girls, all the background dancers, including my roommates and our cousins, just like rubbing his body down, like as he's like mouthing the lyrics to this Riff Raff song. And it was just, I remember being so insane because everyone on the island knew what we were up to. And like, we thought we were being so sick and cool. And like, we're in a fucking music video. What are you fucking doing? But everyone was definitely like, these girls are out of their damn minds. But again, like, who else is in a music video? Like, that's such good lore to have. It's in the music video is hilarious. The song, horrible. No offense, love you, Riff Raff. But I remember that being one of the funnier things that I've ever done. And I thought that would be the end of it then. But then he flew out to Boston, which is where I live, which is where my roommate lives. And he got a hotel for my roommate, and then they were hooking up there. And then she was like, okay, I'm going back to college. Like, this is fucking insane. Like, I can't date this man. I can't like bring this man home to my parents. He's like kind of suspect and sketchy. And like, she was going to be a junior in college. She had like college boys that she had crushes on too, that she really wanted to explore as well. And this is where things get interesting. She was trying to cut things off with this guy, kind of speaking to him less, not picking up as many of the FaceTimes, just like kind of letting things play out as one does when they're trying to get rid of a man. She gets back to campus and she starts hooking up with one of the seniors, and she like likes this guy a lot. And she's like, you know what? Like, I'm just going to ride this wave, cut contact off with Mr. Mustache Man. All of a sudden, we get a school-wide email. A school-wide email being like, Mr. Mustache Man is filming a movie on Union campus between these dates. And we were all like gobsmacked. We were like, there is no fucking way that this man is filming a fucking movie on our campus. So obviously she's like, oh God, like I'm gonna, like the rumors had kind of been like flowing because, you know, things were getting documented over the summer. Like people knew on campus. It was a very, very small school. So rumors got out pretty quickly. And so when he confirmed that he was going to be on campus for this movie that was being filmed, everyone was like freaking the fuck out. So anyways, he ended up coming to campus with a massive film crew, like cameras, production, like you fucking name it. They were on campus just filming a movie. By the way, the sketchiest part about this whole thing is that the movie never came out. Like, we've never seen this movie. I swear that he just like did this just to see her and got all these camera crew and production, everything to come with him just to like make an excuse to like go on that campus. Cause like, why out of all the fucking places you could film a movie would you go to Schenectady, New York on a college campus that your ex-lover goes to? Like, it just seemed a little suspect. So anyways, my roommate, who's like, you know, a sweet little angel pie, like she's in biochem, like that bitch is at the library in and out. And I remember he came and like everyone's freaking out, has their phones out, and he like plucks her out of the library and he like pulls her onto his lap and she's like, oh dear God, like this is not happening. But after that, you know, like he was literally in the dorms. Like he wanted, like we almost brought him to the frat party. Like that's where it was. And that would have been hilarious, but that didn't end up happening. But yeah, that was our story with Mr. Mustache Man. And honestly, I hope he's doing well. He was a really nice guy, really nice to me. But, you know, it builds lore. Honestly, I want to have that roommate on. She has a real corporate job. So, you know, that's why I asked permission to tell this story. But I think that I need to have her on eventually because she, one, has the best stories. She'll say yes to fucking anything. Two, she knows all my good stories that some are like a little blurry for me that I don't remember, that maybe I hide in the trenches of my brain, but she has been there for pretty much every feral situation that I've ever been a part of. So maybe I'll try to get her on in the next month or so. Now that we're kind of diving into like, you know, talking about summer and older men and college and parties and free games, let me tell you guys about the time I signed up for cking arrangements. You know, okay, let me rephrase that. I felt like I had to sign up for cking arrangements because I got kicked out of the house for a short period of time because I threw a banger in my Boston house and it went wrong. I used to throw pre-games all the time, like in high school and college, like I felt like it was a safe bet because I live in the city of Boston and it eliminated, you know, parking. So kids weren't drunk driving and it was like safer for that option because you literally had to Uber. But like when I was in college, I'm also closer to the bars in Boston. So it worked out better that way. So it was like my friend's birthday, or it was my friend's birthday. And I was like, oh my God, I'll pregame, like no problem. And someone ended up throwing up on the carpet of my parents' bedroom. And, you know, things happen at parties. Like people get sick, especially when you're young and in college and you're still figuring out like your limits and how to drink. I did not, like in hindsight, I don't blame that girl. It's not the girl's problem. She threw up and like it just happens. But during the time, it was a big deal. And I think it was mainly a big deal because this happened in my parents' bedroom. And why did it happen in my parents' bedroom on the third floor? Because the cops came, because it kind of turned into a banger pregame. Like, I like to have a good time. The music was bumping. The speakers were getting blown out. It was a whole fucking thing. And I did not care. I was just like, let's fucking rip it and go to the bars. Anyways, the police came. The girl, I think she went up to hide from the police, as one does. And she threw up on the carpet. And I did not know that this carpet was imported from fucking Milan and, you know, sewn together by, you know, blind nuns or something. That's what my parents made it seem like, because they were like, this is like a $30,000 carpet. Like it's I've never seen my dad scream louder, yell at me louder. He was so fucking mad. They were both so mad at me. And what did I do? Instead of getting a professional cleaner to clean it, I poured bleach on it and it just destroyed the whole thing. And then I got a lot of anxiety. So I went to Nantucket. I think it was Memorial Day weekend, Fagawi. So I was like, fuck it, I'm getting out of here before they get home. And I booked it to Nantucket. And I got home. It was a fucking nightmare. They were like, I had to leave the house for a few days. And he was like, you're cut off, like all this shit. And the words you're cut off, they cut deep, especially to a girl in her 20s that makes no dime or dollar to her own fucking self. I was a hostess at Sandbar in Nantucket making like $12 an hour. That's not going to support my lifestyle. No. So I geeked out. I was like, I need a sugar daddy now. My father has left the chat. I need a sugar daddy. And I think a lot of people sign up for seeking arrangements at some point in their early 20s. I think that's a normal thing. Now it's like feet pics and OnlyFans. Back then it was like seeking arrangements. I want to note that I never went on a single date with any of these men that I talked to online. I got too nervous and scared and like didn't want to be in the next episode of like 60 Minutes. It's not a safe thing to do. And like if you're on seeking arrangements, this is not like an ad for seeking arrangements. I just want to make that clear. Don't do that. There's other ways. Like I would sell a picture of your, of your toes before going on a date with a random stranger that you don't know. Okay? I just want to make that very clear to everyone. So yeah, I signed up for seeking arrangements and I didn't personally go on a date with anyone, but like a lot of my friends did do that. And, I didn't judge. I don't judge here. This is a judgment-free zone. But like so seeking arrangements basically like there's different tiers to it. You can go, some of these men are just lonely and they want company of a beautiful girl, or like their kink is to like give and like gift give and like take people out to lavish dinners or, lavish experiences and just like being company of a beautiful woman. A lot of it's that. And like for like $1,000 just to like go out to dinner that's paid for, it kind of seems like a win-win situation here. Like I get why people do it. Like I honestly, like me even talking about it now, I'm like, maybe I could do a side hustle situation thing there. But the only aspect of it that's unappealing to me is that most of these men are fucking weird motherfucking freaks. And it's not safe. And they're kind of creepy. And they all say, oh, no sexual favors. They're fucking men at the end of the day. They all want a sexual favor, a little rub and tug underneath the table. I don't fucking know. But it just didn't seem like a safe option for me. I didn't end up going on any of the dates, but like no shame to anyone that actually goes through with that. Something I would do that I've heard about recently, I don't know if anyone's been on this wave. It's been on my For You page a lot for some reason, which I don't know if that says anything about me and my algorithm, but I've learned a lot more about yacht girls. I don't know if you guys know what a yacht girl is, but it kind of seemed like an escort situation, a seeking arrangement situation, but like final boss. Like you get to just go on a yacht, be pretty, tan, go on vacation, but in the company of these rich men that can afford such things. And I don't know if these girls are putting out or not. I would assume someone's putting out because typically you don't get flown out. I mean, in my experience, you don't get flown out and taken out on a yacht if you're not paying them in some shape or form. Like it has to be an exchange of goods, in my opinion. But yeah, yacht girls, that's something that, on my For You page, everyone's like judging these girls that like just basically get paid to like go on these yachts with these rich men. That sounds like a fucking dream to me. Like, where do you sign up to do that? Like I'm asking, like people in the comments, please let me know. DM me. Like maybe I'll be a yacht girl this summer. Like that just sounds like amazing. Like an amazing experience. You get to travel new places all on their dime. I mean, as long as I don't have to suck anyone off and just be like good company, I would do that. I don't see any shame in that. But maybe my head is all fucked up, screwed up. Maybe I'm just mentally ill and I think that's okay. Again, I'm not suggesting you travel with random rich men that you don't know. But again, maybe weigh your options. Maybe it could open doors. Maybe you'll fall in love. Who knows? Who knows, guys? But anyways, I just want to like give my little input on that and like any other like internet lore, guys, that you want me to touch on. Anything on your For You page, honestly. Anything you want my opinion on, just DM me because I love yapping about random shit. And I'm like constantly online. Like it's a problem. I need to put my phone down. My screen time, I think this week was like 20 hours a day. which is a problem, and I need to be stopped. I'm getting looks from production right now. I know. It's bad. But I also sleep with my computer open. So it's like, it's not that bad. I need white noise in the back at all times, or else I feel like I'm going to reflect on my own demons and feelings. So I try to like cancel out the thoughts in my head with brain rot TV, which is a life hack that I don't know is like, I don't know if I can bring that into like my 80s if we make it that far, but that is my life hack for my 20s right now. Anyways, let's get into more DMs that you guys send me, or just my DMs in general. Let's talk about my DMs actually. I got asked out on a date the other day, which since I've mentioned on here on this podcast that, you know, no one asks me out because I'm a cunt, I have been getting more DMs, and some of them have been like pretty cute, and I've been like, okay, slay. So I did answer this one guy because we had mutuals, and he like asked me out to drinks, and I was like, you know what? Yeah. And I still might go out to drinks with this guy. I'm also really not good at replying to people in real time. I'll literally reply 7 business days later and be like, hey, yeah, following up on this. So he asked me out and I said, sure, I'm down. And then he followed up and was like, wait, are you still down? You know, the weekend's coming up. And I just like didn't reply. Honestly, I didn't really see it. And then he follows up like 12 hours later and goes, pathetic. He called me pathetic. And I was like, this fucking asshole has the nerve. So I reply, I go, excuse me? I didn't know it's your message prior. And he goes, I just wanted to get your attention. And I was like, wait, that worked. Because I replied. I don't think I would have replied unless he fucking insulted me. Which I'm not suggesting to the men that are watching this that that's a great thing to do. But the toxic in me was like, okay, wait, you've caught my attention because excuse me. So what did I do? I gave him my number. I'm a problem. And I need to seek therapy. Yeah. So maybe I'll see him this weekend. Maybe not. I don't know. I'll let you guys know. But like, maybe it could be slay because I like a guy with a little bite, but not too much bark, you know? Like calling me pathetic was insane, but it was a good conversation starter. I don't know. Anyways, let's get into some DMs from you guys. I'll keep you guys posted and like stay tuned if I go on this date, and you'll hear all about it before anyone else. Okay, let's go over this question right now. This is a DM I got the other day. She goes, the man I've been hooking up with for months treats me like his girlfriend. He texts me all day. He cuddles me, forehead kisses, says I miss you, says he can't even get it up for anyone else. Oh, I already know where this is going, queen. I asked him what he viewed us as, and he said he really likes me, but doesn't know if he's ready for that type of commitment. Babe. Now I'm just embarrassed for basically saying I want to date. And like, I don't know. So we still text all day. And I don't know, but how do I get back to being mysterious? You know what this reminds me of? By the way, this is a universal experience and everyone is safe here, because I feel like if you don't experience this type of love bombing situation at some point in your life, you're not going to know how to handle it down the road. So bear with me. Everything's going to work out. But this is how I'm reading the situation. You know, like that meme that's like, I see this TikTok all the time where it's like a guy like the day before he ghosts you, and it's like him being like, oh my God, I can't wait for you to meet my parents. I love you, like blah, blah, blah. Oh my God, you are the apple of my eye. What are we going to name our children? Like that's what this is kind of reminding me of. This guy seems young. That's what I'll say. I can just tell by this kind of behavior that this guy's EQ is probably extremely low. He probably wants to keep his options open. Even if that's something you don't want to hear, I'm going to be honest with you and keep it real with you. He definitely likes you. This is clear to me. A guy doesn't act like that and put time in like that unless he gives a fuck to. Men are very simple human beings. You kind of get what you give. But if a guy is saying that he's not ready for a serious commitment, hear him when he says that. Listen to that and take that at extremely like face value. I would say he wants to like keep his options open. I think that if you peeled back a little bit on the intimacy, you know, the cuddling, the forehead kisses, maybe you're not responding as quickly, you could get yourself back into a more of a green zone area where you're being a bit more coy and mysterious. You don't want a guy to always be like thinking he knows your next move, a guy thinking that he can read your mind, or a guy knowing exactly how you will react to anything he does or says. Like, throw a curveball at him. I would say be shorter with him when you reply. Don't be as lovey-dovey. And also, another thing I'm really bad at that I think works is being less available. I know when I like someone, I'm ready at their beck and hand. Like, if I am an hour away and a guy was like, I really want to see you, and I'm like doing something an hour away, I will be like, I'm calling an Uber now. I'll be right there. And I feel like being super easily available to men in general, it sends a message. So if you're like, no, I'm busy, I think that ticks something in men's brain. It's something I'm trying to work on because I'm really bad at this too. So like we're in this together, but I would say that would be my best advice in the situation. But I also feel like communication is key too. But just to play devil's advocate here for a second, and on the flip side of things, I will say I was watching Love on the Spectrum the other day and they are so blunt. Oh my God. I was like impressed. Like they just fucking tell it how it is. They'll be with a man on a date, or they'll be on a date and be like, I think we just should be friends. I want to go on another date. Be my girlfriend. And yes, I know they are on the spectrum, but I respected the level of communication that they all had with each other. I thought it was admirable. And they just got to the fucking point. Something that's wrong with men and just us, not even just men. I think girls we fuck this up too. It's just like, there's a lack of like boldness and communication and just like getting your point across, because it just like takes up, the quicker you get a point across, even if it doesn't get received well on the other end, at least you know your answer. And you get to the fucking point, get to the finish line, at least, like why drag something out that has no finish line in general? So I just like kind of think that being blunt and overly communicative also has its benefits as well. So that's on the flip side of things. I would say like as I'm like approaching, I'm closer to 30 now. I feel like for me, I'm like trying to be a little bit more bold and communicative in my own like personal life. So yeah, maybe like not me like learning things from Love on the Spectrum, but I was like kind of watching it being like, I could take a fucking page out of their book. Like, cause they get it sometimes. They get it. And they found love. So like maybe they're doing something right there. There's something to be told for that. Okay, moving on, guys. I've kind of outlined, now that we're talking about like liking someone and like all that jazz, I've kind of outlined like the tiers of attraction in telling a person like you like them, because it takes a lot for me to like be like, I like you. Like it takes a lot. Actually, it depends how drunk I am. Those moments don't count, because sometimes I'm tipsy and I'm like, I'm in love with you. Like I've said I've loved guys drunk before, like mid-sex, but sometimes like either the Molly hits or the moment strikes. It can't be blamed for those moments. But I said the tier 1 of telling somebody you like them is like, I can tolerate you. Like I'm not disgusted by you. Like that's how I'd get my point across. So, like I don't mind you being around me in my space. That's like the first way I would tell a guy that like I'm kind of into them. The second tier above that I would say is I want to see you again. Like initiating plans, not just like letting him leave my apartment, being like, when do I see you again? Like I would like to make plans with you. I'm interested in doing that. That's like how I would translate like that as I kind of like you, right? I would agree. Not me answering my own questions here. The third tier would be like actually just point blank saying, I'm into you. Like casual and cute, being like, you know what, I'm into you. I think I'm into you. I'm vibing with you. I feel like we're vibing here. I feel like that is also like kind of chill and like lax and like, like it's not super serious. It won't freak them out too much. And then, tier 4 is when we're getting into, the red zone, some dark waters, because when I like a guy, I am the worst. I've said this before. I am the worst version of myself. I fold like a fucking bad lawn chair. I lose all my inhibitions, lack self-respect, lack confidence in my decisions. My friends stay away from me during these periods of times, and they try to like sit me down for interventions. But luckily for me, I get over men really quickly too. But But yeah, that would be tier 4. Me just being like down fucking bad, being like, I like you a lot. Like, where the fuck are you? Like trying to FaceTime him. Like that's like when like we're in dark waters. So we try not to get to tier 4. I rarely get to tier 2, honestly. Honestly, I don't remember the last time I told a guy I liked him. Actually, I do, but like there's like that was like a kindergarten crush. You know, like when you have like a little like kindergarten crush on someone, you can't tell if it's just like situational or like the tequila is just hitting you correctly. Like it's like, oh, like I like you, but then like you put him into the real world as a character and you see like how he interacts with like his own environment or see how he is on social media. You get the real picture of him and you're like, oh wait, I don't know now. But like in certain environments, you're like, you're fucking sexy and hot and I want to sit on your face. But like, I don't know. I read people too much. I think eventually the long-term goal, guys, is we get to tier 4. Like I want to be emotionally available and emotionally ready for tier 4. But I've said this before, like there's no part of me, I'd rather be single and alone than settle for fucking trash and then have to like deal with fucking trash for years and tolerate red flags and tolerate what I don't deserve for years on end just for an inevitable breakup to happen. And then I'll look back and be like, I regret. Like those years I could have been meeting someone that I actually deserve, which I think is the right outlook to have. And I'm not going to change my outlook just because, you know, I'm getting older. I still got time left. I still got youth on my side. You know, I'm not really worried about it, to be honest, either. I'm living my best life, doing whatever the fuck I'm doing. But anyways, you guys will be the first to know if I ever hit tier 4, when that happens. Even like verbalizing that and like picturing me being in love and being all giddy over a man is a crazy thought to have. But you know, the day will come. Like there's gonna be one day where like he's sitting right next to me. I'm gonna be giving him a hand job while we're podcasting. It'll be great. Like we're all gonna experience this together. It'll be a good time. But anyways, let's get into the next segment. As I was sitting here, my producer sent me a quiz. Are you ready for a relationship? Now that we're on the topic of love and being in love, which, you know, is hopefully in my future. But let's do this quiz together, I guess. Let's like wrap up the episode doing that. Are you ready for a relationship? Let's take the quiz and find out. Question 1. Do your feelings for someone you'd like to be in a relationship with go deeper than physical attraction? Maybe. It's yes, maybe. I'm not sure. No. They have to be physically attractive. I'm sorry. They have to be at least an 8. You know, right? 7? I don't know. I have to want to fuck them at the end of the day. I'm not fucking their humor or how kind they are. That's not what I'm doing here. Okay? So yes, maybe. I mean, obviously it goes deeper than a physical attraction. But like, I'm trying to think about the guys that I'm into right now. Yes, I'm gonna write maybe for that. Are you looking for a partner? I'm not sure. Are you willing to compromise and put the needs of someone else before yours at times? That sounds like a lot of work, no? Depends what needs they are. I'm not doing their fucking laundry. No, grow up. No. I'm not sure. Yes. What kind of needs? I'll give them head. It depends what needs we're talking about. I would put yes. Yes for that. I would put their needs in front of mine, yes. Have you thought about growing older with someone? Yes, of course. Have you done some work on yourself to heal from previous relationships or traumas? No, I'm too busy for that. Do you take care of your physical and mental health? No. No, I actually just came from like getting blood work done today. And they're like, is your blood pressure always this low? And I'm like, babe, I'm busy. Leave me be. No. Can you share thoughts and feelings openly with someone close to you? Maybe. It depends on the guy. But usually I'm a hard wall to penetrate. Which is ironic because I'm easy to penetrate sometimes too. Physically. You get the joke. But no, emotionally, I don't know. Depends if tequila is flowing or not, then I'll open up a bit. But I would say maybe. You don't want to show all your cards right off the bat. People will take advantage of that. So I have to really get to know someone before I show true colors. People always say this about me, even platonic relationships. Like, I'm like kind of quiet in the beginning because I'm like reading you. I'm analyzing you and your being, your existence. I'm looking at every minute, small little move you make, how you speak to other people, and I'm reading you. And then I'll decide how I want to act around you, whether that's an open book or a closed book. But I can be nice in both situations. So I'm going to say maybe. Can you have uncomfortable discussions and still be respectful of a partner? I'm trying to think about my past serious relationships. Something I always struggled with was staying calm when I'm pissed. Because when I'm pissed, I'm pissed. My head's blowing off. I have a very short fuse. They will rue this day. And they will rue the next day and the day after that. And I kind of used to love picking fights with my partner to have good makeup sex. It was a problem. But I think I could grow to have uncomfortable discussions and maybe disagreements with a partner and still be respectful, because sometimes you got to agree to disagree. So I'm going to say yes, I could do that. Maybe. Are you looking for a deeper connection than casual dating? The thing is, like, I don't look for meaningful things with men. I hope that it finds me with little effort. Like the stars are aligned and we're at the same place and it's meant to be. I'm not actively on the prowl looking for meaningful connection. I would like to get laid, but that's not meaningful connection. I feel like people that are out there looking for meaningful connection, I mean, you do you, babe, but that's not really me. So I would say no, I'm not. But if meaningful connection finds me, I will embrace it with open arms and fake tits. Do you know what you need from a relationship and can you communicate your needs? Yes, I can communicate my needs. That's actually one thing I am good about doing. All right, do you enjoy being around your romantic interests for long periods of time? Yeah, especially in the honeymoon phase. Like, who wants to like be separated? That's actually a problem I had with like my friendships, because like they kind of lose me in the beginning because I'm having like all these sexual rendezvous with like this guy, and I'm like I go kind of ghost and MIA. I need to work out that balance a little bit better. I think I could handle it now that I'm older, but like when I was in college I was so bad about that. But yeah, I could say yeah, I'm gonna say yes to this. All right, 12. When you see a happy couple, does it remind you of something you want or are missing? Not really. I mean, I'm around happy couples all the time, but I'm not like like no, like this could be me. Like I don't pity myself like that. It'll happen for me when it's meant to happen for me. Maybe just like this time in my life, it's just not. I'm optimistic, you know? Like I guess I don't really look at a happy couple and say, damn, I wish that was me. Should I be? Like, maybe. I would say I'm not sure to that. The results where you're not quite ready to take the leap. I could have said that myself. Whether you're still getting over an ex or have some things that you need to work on, now may not be the best time for you to jump into a relationship. Take the time you need to make sure you're able to give your best self to your future partner. Okay, well, fuck you. If you're still not sure about your relationship, blah, 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 blah. Okay, so it turns out I'm not ready, but like I could have told you guys that. You guys could have told me that. Production could have told me that. My mom and dad tell me that all the fucking time. Yeah, we got to get our ducks in a line before we take a serious leap with anyone. Because in a relationship, you should not be complimenting the other person. They should be a cherry on top of something that like, of a solid foundation. You know, you don't ever want a man like feeling like you need a man to complete you as a whole. Because that is where you run into trouble. Because God forbid, like that man leaves you. You don't want to feel like there's a hole there. You know? Does that make any sense? I feel like it made sense to me. But yeah, until I feel like a complete person in many aspects of my life, I feel like I don't think I'm ready for a serious relationship. But that could change. Who knows? That's how I feel today. Yada yada bing bong. Boop. All right, guys. Now I want to go through my pictures, my old pictures. I get a lot of DMs being like, you need to go over like your old Instagrams or like the old versions of yourself, because like many of you guys, I've had 19 million different hair colors and 19 million different like styles. The LF era was fucking insane. The LF era needs to be studied. I feel like it was a social experiment. I had the bowl haircut. I was a fucking Karate Kid. There's like, I had a lot of eras in my life that weren't cute, but built character. And I will say that. The first one I want to show you. Let's go over my 5th grade yearbook, which is this photo. I'm going to clip it so you guys see it in a bigger, like, this is me in 5th grade. This is how I walked in to the first day of my all girls private school. And they go, "Where's your sister?" Because they thought I was a boy. Think about the trauma I held on to after that. Being like, "Where's your sister, babe?" No, hi, I'm a girl. I just have this fucking haircut and chubby cheeks. I wanted this haircut so bad because I looked up to my mom. I still look up to my mother. Love her to death. And I wanted to like have the same haircut as her. She has this really cute chic pixie haircut. And I was like, I want that haircut too. And she thought it would be cute as well. So we're all on the same fucking page. And I was like, you know what? I'm going to take the leap. Did not think that it would make me look like a little boy. Okay? Like so cute though, like looking back. For the audio only listeners, I'm wearing a V-neck. I have no eyebrows. That's something I started doing later in life, is dyeing my eyebrows because it adds a lot of facial structure for me. And I had like a bowl, like I had like the Justin Bieber flow basically. Like a bowl haircut, dark brunette hair, and just like the chubbiest cheeks. And like I have the most innocent twinkle in my eyes. This is before I'd seen any dick. And then I ruined it for me. The twinkle left my eye. Okay, let's go over this photo. Like, look how long my hair was. Guys, this is like a summer in Nantucket. Like, this is when I was in my Visco era, Tumblr era. I like admired Alexis Ren. I think this was like the Alexis Ren era. Looked up to her. And who was the other girl? Like Savannah Montoya? I just like wanted like their lives and like their beachy-esque like kind of vibe. I'm wearing Daisy Dukes here. Honestly, I haven't seen my hair this long ever. This is kind of insane for me to see that at this length because as you guys know, I'm fucking bald. I look like Walton Goggins with this hairline at this point. I get that comment all the time on TikTok. And honestly, I'm starting to fucking see it. It's scaring me a little bit. But yeah, this is just like a typical Nantucket summer. Sun-kissed and gorgeous. Oh, like this is a great picture. This is me and my friend Katie at like a dirty in college. It is so interesting to me to see how girls dress in college now versus when I was in college, even though it's like only 5 years ago that I was in college. Like thank God like people figured it out, because when I was in college, the LF era was super prominent. Like this, we're talking 2016. We had the chokers, we had like the cross V-neck thing situation going on. We had, the LF skirts, the way overpriced LF items that people would like fucking push bitches over for. Like the LF sales were insane. They were an iconic period of time that needs to be studied. Like this skirt I'm looking at is the ugliest fucking thing I've ever seen in my whole entire life, and it has a zipper up the middle. I bet you the skirt was like $235. And I thought I was sick with like the little cropped mesh racing, like I don't even know, like the cheap sunglasses. This is before I had eyebrows and masseter Botox, and I honestly look fucking insane. And my hair was orange because I fucked it up through like a bleach and tone situation. And I had press-on nails here as well that I got from CVS. Ooh, this is actually cute. I got my hair and makeup done. I went with my cousin Jill to Rihanna's Met Gala after party back at One Oak in 2017. I looked chic here, and there were so many celebrities there that night, and I felt like a fucking sick human being. I was like, whoa, whoa, whoa. Like Bella Hadid was there, Hallie Bieber was there, everyone and their mother was there, and obviously Rihanna came. This is honestly the only probably good outfit I have from the year 2017. I swear I change style every year. Let's go back farther. Let's go back to high school. God, I had the best hair with my high school boyfriend. Oh my God, here's a picture of me on the floor of my friend's common room area, hammered after our night out, our freshman year. This is like week 1, freshman year. And I was going through a breakup because my ex cheated on me, so I didn't want to be alone. So I would just sleep in the common area or like in one of my good friends' like bed for like a month. I just like wouldn't leave by their side because anytime I was alone, I was like sad and depressed. So I like need to be with my girls. So I would sleep on the beanbag in their common room, okay? And this is like freshman week, syllabus week, whatever you want to call it. And I was drinking like raspberry bubblegum Svedka straight from the bottle, shots. And then I would get so sick. And then I would take their little like, trash can, like, like the little dorm trash cans you get at Target. And I would just wrap around it. And I think this night I had indulged too much in some raspberry Svedka, and I just got absolutely twisted. This is back when I used to experience spins, which is something I don't experience now, ever. Do you guys remember spins? Like, I used to get like, the spins when you lie down, like everything's spinning. I feel like that's something you experience when you first start drinking when you're younger. But now, I don't know if I'm drinking less. That can't be the case. Or if I'm just like over the spins era of my life. But yeah, here I'm wrapped in my comforter. I look like I'm in good spirits. There's still color in my face, but I look like I'm about to have a very tough morning. God, I was so cute, but these outfits are fucking diabolical. Like, I was cool in high school. Now that I'm like reflecting back on all these pictures, like I fucking partied just as hard. This is a crazy photo. Look how young I look. So this is when I was 15. This was like my semi-formal. And it was the first time I was going with, my high school boyfriend. And I was so excited. My makeup is really sketchy in this. And also, like, I had such a baby face. But this should, like, clear up all the allegations. My jawline was always fucking T, okay? And everyone thinks I have filler in my jaw. And I'm like, no, it's literally just the structure of my face. Not to be super pick me, but like it is. Everyone thinks I have jaw filler. And my nose is cute here too. I look so wholesome. I was so wholesome up until the age of maybe 17. But yeah, we were just like pre-gaming, taking semi-formal pictures here. Doing the whole like, the sorority squat grind line pictures with all your besties. Like, there was like the best times in high school. I like miss high school. I had a great grade at NCDS. Actually, speaking of NCDS, my 10-year reunion is this year, which is crazy to say that I'm 10 years out of high school. Like, what? Where has the time gone? It feels like yesterday. I was just parking in that senior parking lot. But that'll be fun. I'm looking forward to that. God, I was like so cuntiana. Wait, this is funny. This is a picture of me and my friend Hallie in 8th grade. We used to go to this place called Legacy Place. I don't know if anyone knows in the Boston area what Legacy Place is, but literally it's where you'd go in the 7th, or I think 6th, 7th, 8th grade to like meet boys. You like meet up with boys and you'd walk around, you'd go into the Mac store and take pictures on the MacBook, and then you'd upload them as your profile picture on Facebook, and then you'd be like my status for truth is, or like my status for a rate. Remember when that used to be a thing? Like when men, like fucking boys, which is fucking crazy to think about now. They'd be like my status for a rate, and they'd like write on your page and be like 8. Like I would see some boys be like so honest about it too. Be like, you're 3.5. Not to me, but like to girls I knew in my class. I was like, what? Like, what happened to like white lying? Because we need to bring that back. But that was like basically my whole social calendar in middle school, was going to like the Holy Name dances, DCD dances, Brimmer and May, like all these like school dances. I would count how many guys I grinded with. Like we'd have competitions. Ugh, back in the day, guys. This is 2011 I'm speaking about, by the way. And yeah, I had my first makeout was probably at one of these. Actually, my second makeout ever was at one of these dances. But I remember like going to Legacy Place was like where you met cute boys when I was in middle school. But my outfit here is fucking horrendous. I'm a brunette. I used to go out with no makeup on at all. I would fucking Havana flip-flops and shorts that are a questionable length and a juicy couture tracksuit zipped up to the top with a sugar lips underneath. This is so 2011 core to the fucking T. I bet I had a fucking sleeve of silly bands underneath this juicy couture tracksuit as well. Like, that's hilarious. That was a good one to end it on, guys. reflecting the nostalgia. It's all coming back to me. This has been another beautifully fun solo episode with you little freaks. Again, like, subscribe. You can watch on YouTube, listen to me on every other platform. I'll be yapping everywhere. But for now, I love you guys, and I'll see you next week. Bye.